Welcome to Bum Life. It's my friend Pizza.
Hi.
He's from Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm from Abilene, Texas. And we met in New Orleans.
About a couple of years ago in New Orleans, yeah. But I still drink, and he's completely clean and sober, and we're gonna talk about that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, these days after not doing drugs or drinking for 11 and a half months, I like to have myself a cup of Death Wish coffee.
I love the fuck out of coffee too. Honestly, I think I'm probably more addicted to coffee than I am booze. Like, yeah, if the beer store is more than like 3 miles away, I'll be like, you know what, might not be worth it. But like, I feel like I need my fucking coffee every morning. So I have two addictions.
Some people say that Death Wish is too expensive, but some people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And also, um, if you have food stamps, it's really nice to get yourself a nice little treat at the beginning of the month. Um, that's what I like to get whenever I get my food stamps.
Coffee is good. Yeah, I dumpstered that big bag of coffee the other day. All this shit from like the spill tray where like people fill up their sacks of coffee. They empty all that shit into a trash bag and throw it into their fucking dumpster. So I found that the other night, which is nice. I've been drinking coffee since I was 8 years old, pretty much every fucking day.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
People say it stunts your growth. It's like, how tall would I have been? I feel like I turned out to be a pretty average height, even drinking coffee since I was 8.
Yeah, you're taller than me.
I'm like 5'11" or some shit.
That's how tall I am.
Really?
Whoa.
I think I just wear boots.
Yeah.
I used to think I was 6 feet tall, but I wasn't. I was like 5'11".
Damn, dude.
People think they're taller than they actually are. It's like, I feel like my boots are. I thought I was a size 10 and a half. I'm probably like a 10. That has nothing to do with sobriety or anything. Uh, but yeah, you're sober, and I drink, and it's cool to chill together.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people think that, you know, if you're not doing drugs or drinking, that you shouldn't hang out with people that are doing drugs or drinking. Uh, and honestly, depending on who you are, that's complete horseshit because I'm doing it, and this is one of my best buddies right here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's like there's a huge stigma against people that do drugs, um, but it's all like a personal choice for myself, you know. Like, it doesn't make me uncomfortable that he has a beer in his hand
Yeah, I don't.
that's 8.6% alcohol.
It's a Red Hook Big Ballard IPA.
It smells okay,
8.6, baby.
but and I even think weed smells okay.
It kind of smells like IPAs smell like weed.
Yeah,
It's the hops.
but I just know for myself that if I smoked weed or drank, then I wouldn't be feeling very good. And
It's bad for you. It doesn't work for your chemistry or your life.
yeah,
Like, I drink because I feel like, I mean, honestly, alcohol has been a beneficial tool in my life for like social anxiety and boredom. And I feel like we all have like, I don't want to say problems, but we all have feelings. I feel like hopefully we do. We're all trying to cope with feelings in some way or another, and we self-medicate with whatever we can. And some people would be like, just go see a therapist and get on some fucking psych meds.
yeah, do more drugs.
Yeah, but, and that's great. Some people need that. That works for some people. But I'd rather be an alcoholic than be on anti-anxiety prescription meds. That's just what works for me personally. We all have separate things that work for us. But, I think that I'm fortunate that alcohol has been the drug that works for me as an individual because it's socially acceptable. You can buy it pretty much anywhere, which is a good and a bad thing. But
I used to smoke speed and crack, and I used to snort speed up my nose.
mhm.
And I have ADHD, so it made me feel like really slowed down whenever I did that shit. It didn't make me go all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs unless I stayed up for like more than a day. And, you know, that's why I like to drink Death Wish coffee because it gives you the same type of feeling,
does it
as meth.
does it mellow you out if you have ADHD? Does caffeine mellow you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
Weird.
makes me feel all like chill.
Calm and chill. That's good.
Yeah, and if I don't have my fucking coffee, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, coffee's the shit. Coffee and alcohol, great combo. Like one brings me up in the morning, then I get all fucking jacked up on coffee, and I start drinking beer, and it fucking brings me back down again.
Yeah.
That's what works for me as an individual. Yeah, I probably have. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have any real mental health problems, but it's like you get anxiety. Like I walk down the street, and I feel like every car that passes by is like looking at me. I feel like people are like looking out their windows at me and shit. I'm like, yeah, sometimes that is real. I mean, I'm a fucking punk rock homeless person. I'm a little bit out of place in some neighborhoods, like everywhere. But part of that is just inside my own head. And yeah, then I drink a couple beers and it's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just a normal functioning human being. Like I feel like me after a couple beers is probably like how most people are functioning when they're sober, maybe, or just like me drinking is how I should be naturally all the time. But it just takes a little bit for me to like overcome my anxiety and just to be comfortable like talking and having a conversation and shit. Like when I'm sober, I'm just like I just have a hard time speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard for me to stop drinking when I first stopped. The first month, I was like going to AA meetings and shit, and they would make me stop sharing because I would just be like, fuck, fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck, like during my whole share, and I was like yelling and screaming in the middle of the circle, and some people were like, you got to give it up to somebody else, man. You're doing too much. But after the first few months, I started to really chill out, and uh, I don't know. I think it was kind of like a mental withdrawal type of thing going on. Um, but even with alcohol, for me, I was like just super pissed off all the time. Um, if anybody looked at me the wrong way, I would yell and scream at them.
And you have some schizo tendencies. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
Yeah, I think that kind of like had like, that was a direct result from doing drugs a lot and drinking. I would smoke some weed and I would try to go to work and I would think that everybody was talking shit about me at work, and I couldn't do it after a while. I couldn't handle the kind of music one of my coworkers was playing because, not to be all PC or whatever, but I really don't like homophobia or racism or anything like that. And certain types of music being played in my vicinity, like, I just don't tolerate it very much. But if it keeps going on, I'm liable to fucking just walk out on the job or fucking, that's kind of why I'm a homeless traveler too, is because I can't handle society. I can handle things in my own way and everything's fine. But uh, nobody likes washing dishes, I'm guessing. that most people that watch this kind of shit, they have normal jobs, and that's cool, you know. But for me, it's just not something that I like to do. I do other stuff.
Yeah, and like I would say, like I probably wouldn't mind washing dishes, but it's more like it's like the interaction with your coworkers and like having a bot. Like, first of all, applying for a job in general is just sort of like you gotta pretend to be like normal and likable and like,
Yeah,
hey, will you give me a fucking job?
it's really degrading.
It's kind of degraded. You gotta pretend to be somebody you're not. You're like, you know what? I'm a fucking drunk. I'm a fucking piece of shit. Whatever. Do you want to
Yeah,
let me wash your dishes or not? And so yeah, I don't think I'm not schizophrenic or anything, but I feel like I do have. I could probably be diagnosed with this or that just because I just don't like authority. I just think everything is kind of bullshit.
all that being said, I don't think that I'm schizophrenic either. I think that I'm just I was snorting cocaine in the bathroom at work, and I was finding crack and meth all over the ground, and I would go home and do it. And you know, if you know anything about those types of drugs, you know that you're liable to have some mood swings and to feel some things that aren't fucking really happening.
Yeah,
I'm happy to say that I don't feel like that anymore.
yeah.
Sometimes people do piss me off though, because I have a problem with accepting reality. Um, but mostly, I'm doing a lot better.
Pizza's doing good. I've known him a couple years now. Clean and sober pizza is a good pizza.
Yeah.
I'm mind if I bum one of those.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I didn't know if we could smoke cigarettes on your YouTube channel.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
I don't want to get flagged.
That's the thing, like, he doesn't feel any pressure to drink. I don't feel any pressure to be sober. I don't feel any pressure to smoke a cigarette, but it's hard sometimes when you are around people. It's like, I have that compulsion to ask people for a cigarette. Like, I don't pay for cigarettes, but I bum cigarettes off of my friends whenever I see one. Like, can I have a fucking cigarette?
I looked it up on Google this afternoon, and Google search told me that smoking cigarettes takes 10 years off of your life. I'm 27, and I think I should give myself maybe a half a year or another full year of just smoking cigarettes, not doing no drugs, and then I'll be okay to stop, and I'll probably, live a long enough life to feel like I got what I wanted out of this life or something.
I could die at any moment. I would like to. I'd like to see more places. I kind of want to do another video about kind of that, like your life expectancy, how that affects your goals in life. Where I feel like most people, uh, I mean, they assume they're gonna live an average life expectancy of like it's the average life expectancy is 77 years old in the U.S. and most people base their lives accordingly. Of you know, work your whole life, save up for retirement. Hopefully, you can buy a piece of property you used to. It's kind of hard now. It's expensive as fuck. Even if you work your whole fucking life. Uh, but I've kind of always expected to die at any point. And
Yeah, we could fucking have somebody walk up behind us in the middle of this park that we're at. We're at a public cemetery park type place. Somebody could walk right up to us and shoot us in the back of the head while we're filming this video.
could happen. I don't think it's going to. We're in Eugene, Oregon right now. This ain't New Orleans. Uh, but yeah, I had like suicidal thoughts when I was like 9 years old. And I haven't had any thoughts of suicide since my early 20s. I think I've gotten more content with living, and like I enjoy living. And but I'm like, I could die tomorrow, and I'm fine with that. So I base my life accordingly. I live every day like it's my last, pretty much. And I enjoy drinking a beer and doing the things I do. And
I think hopping trains is kind of like enough of the edge to where, you know, it keeps me from feeling suicidal or anything.
yeah, travel is also addiction. I wanted to talk about travel addiction. This video might be getting long. I don't know if I can edit this video into 2 parts. I don't know, but we're talking. But yeah, just travel is an addiction. And because like I don't know, that's the thing about addiction is it's like
It's a
you know,
compulsion.
but it's freeing in a sense. Like you're a slave to the drug or the whatever. You're a slave to that thing. But it's like that's the only thing you have to worry about is getting your fucking fix, and that's freeing in a sense. Because like if you don't have an addiction, uh, you have a bunch of other shit to worry about. If you don't have an addiction, you're like, oh, I gotta wake up at 7 a.m. I gotta go turn in 10 job applications today. I gotta do this and do that. I gotta like, fuck, I want a girlfriend, but dating sucks. All these fucking things. But it's like, if you have an addiction, it's like getting your fix is the only fucking thing that you have to worry about. And there's a type of freedom in that of only having one thing to fucking worry about, that's a freedom from all the other fucking shit that you would otherwise have to deal with. So I think that's why people do drugs, is because I mean, if you have one thing to fucking worry about, that's better than fucking 10 or 20 things to worry about.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I probably had more things to say. I don't know.
Um, I can't really think of anything. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
And like, yeah, I'm fortunate that alcohol has been the drug that works for me. And I used to judge people who did like heroin and meth. And I'm like, but now I'm like, alcohol is a horrible drug for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of fucked up alcoholics. I'm like, sometimes meth and heroin and hard shit is what works for those people. That's what levels them out and makes them able to cope in this world.
Yeah, and I don't judge people that drink, obviously. I fucking love this guy's YouTube channel. When he told me about it, I watched every video, and I think it's super funny and cool and blah blah blah.
Yeah. We all have different brain chemistries or physical chemistries. Different drugs work for different people. Some people are addicted to work and school and exercise, or is watching TV and video games. As I feel like
And
most
YouTube.
people watching YouTube.
Some people are addicted to YouTube.
Yeah.
Are you addicted to YouTube?
We all have a thing that we do to fucking cope in this world, And
I'm addicted to YouTube.
Yeah, we all have an addiction. Yeah, you're sober as fuck, but you like cigarettes and coffee and YouTube, and that's how you get through this fucking world.
And I like hopping freight trains.
I just like to be constantly moving, and that's weird for most people. Most people are like, the idea of just like constantly traveling and not having a home, like that sucks for most people. They're like, you don't want a house and a place to collect shit and like a couch and a TV, but it's like honestly, my main addiction is just moving and getting to the next fucking place. And like, that's the only thing that I have to worry about. As long as I'm constantly moving and getting to the next fucking place, I don't have to worry about anything, you know? That's all that fucking matters. While I'm sitting waiting for a train, and I'm just like kicking it in a town, it's like I drink a beer and I'm like, that's what I'm doing in the moment. It's something to fill my time, to feel like I'm doing something. So yeah, that's the sense of freedom that I get from the addictions that I have. And like, yeah, I'm a slave to those addictions, but it's a freedom from everything else.
Yeah.
I guess that's all we need to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ever give up, and keep keep drinking beers so that we can recycle them later.
If that if that is a positive thing in your life, that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like whenever an addiction becomes a negative thing in your life, like you use an addiction as a tool to cope with living, and once that addiction becomes a negative thing, and you're like, you know, I mean, I'm a chill drunk, luckily, you know, but if you're like crashing cars and calling your wife a bitch and punching your boss in the face, alcohol is not good for you, and you should fucking quit.
Yeah. And there are people who care and will definitely um, help you through that if you want to stop.
Yeah,
Um, it is possible to stop. Um, I have a fucked up sense of humor, so don't listen to some of the things I said, but most of the things I said, yeah, it's from the heart.
it's from the heart.
Yeah.
And I think having friends is important. It's good to have friends.
Yeah, for real.
You can get through anything if you have friends. If your friends are sober, your friends are drug addicts, you have each other at least. And that's something to live for.
Yup.
Yeah, that's good enough, I think.
I think so too.